Yeah, welcome to the open book, where truth don't hide, stories ride, and every chapter got that power. Turn the page, now you stepping in, where real ones talk and the fake pretend. From viral heat to deep convo, we write the truth, let the whole world know. This ain't just a channel, it's a movement. The open book, every story, every voice.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I know it is early, but I was like, today's going to be busy. But y'all, this was some info that I wanted to bring to y'all. I was sharing with you, I think Thursday, that I had looked up this information about the pause, okay, after Holly shot. The witness stated there was a pause and then two rapid shots. And so today we're going to look into why that pause was significant. And remember that pause was significant enough to have the judge use that as one reason why he did not let Holly go, okay, and be released from jail. So let's see who we have here so far. Good morning, Latte is in the building. Thank you for joining, sis, and thank you for being first in the building. Hey, Crease Conversation Lounge is in the building. Good morning, sis. Hey, T. Smith, welcome. Thank you for joining, sis. Barbara, okay. No, wait. I can't keep up with y'all. Some of y'all change stuff every day. Now, is this the same Barbara? I thought you had a new name, girl. Y'all gotta keep me informed on who's who, because I don't even know anymore. It's so many different profiles and things like that. I'm like, what in the world? Hey, honey 5K, good morning, sis. Robin Lots is in the building. Good morning. Hey, Jackie, thank you for joining today. Also, y'all, if you would like to support the channel, Latte has placed various ways that you may support. The like button is for free, so make sure you hit that like button. Good morning, Ruby. Welcome. Hi, Brenda. Spilling the Grits is in the building. Hey, Eddie, thank you for joining. Thank everyone for tapping in early on this Saturday morning. Oh my gosh, I am so tickled. Hey, Stephanie, I said I cannot keep up. Now, this may be a different Barbara, so let me know because I want to welcome you as well. Okay, so yeah, let's get into this. Now, we know that during the day when shout out to Jackie. Oh, thank you, Jackie. I appreciate the super chat and for you being a sponsor for today's live. Thank you so much. She said, thank you for all you do. You're so welcome. It is my honor. I enjoy what I do. I want justice for Romeca. That's my focus. I believe that's the assignment at hand. So look, I'm tunnel vision, baby. Okay. Anything else is a distraction. We are staying focused here. So hey, we're gonna keep it rocking and keep it rolling. Let's see. She said, yes, it's me. Nobody knew who. Yes, girl. Nobody knew. Well, I knew because you shared it in another chat. But see, if people weren't in that chat, they wouldn't have known that was you. Okay. Oh my gosh. And they made a fake account. Oh my goodness. No. Hey, True Blessings. Bam, bam, Karen, Tracy. Y'all come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Grab y'all some coffee. Whatever y'all drink up in the morning. Hey, Nico, sis. Get your frappe. Okay. And tune on in. Now, we know that the witness had pointed out the fact that there was one gunshot and then there was a pause. Okay, let me just say that this live is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. Now, I know that we talk in a lot of this, y'all, is going to possibly come out on the video. However, y'all, this has been stated that there is no video footage of the actual shooting. Okay. Now, that is something that I really hate. But there are other ways that investigators can basically, no, I don't have my coffee. Okay. Investigators can still utilize certain information. Um, I know some people were saying last week, and one thing that we had brought up was the significant amount of blood that was on Carlos's hand, but also on the insides of Holly's hands too. Okay. And there's speculation about why there is so much blood inside of her hand. Now, with the alleged fist bump, that would have been blood on her knuckles, on the outer portions of her hands. But what happened to get blood on the inside of her hand? Was there ever a moment where, hey, something was handed off? That theory came out. She, got the weapon from Carlos and then put the weapon up. And maybe during that time, some blood could have gotten on the interior part of her hand. Or some people were stating that possibly she helped to move Romeca's body. Okay. So those are things that hopefully will come out during this trial. Okay. Let's see here. Yes, allegedly. Let's make sure we insert allegedly. Now, let me go over when I looked up when you have a pause in a murder scene, and then there's a pause and then two rapid shots. What could be some reasons for that? Okay. A pause between shots, especially one shot, a pause, then two rapid shots, can have several plausible explanations. Okay. Investigators usually look at human behavior, weapon mechanics, and situational dynamics, not just the gun itself. Okay. Now, that initial shot, the first shot, may not have been intended to unalive. Okay. And that was something that I was wondering too. Okay. Because remember, there were 3 shots made, and one shot, we still don't know whatever happened to that particular bullet. Okay. Let's see. Latte said, good morning, everyone coming in. Please hit the like button. Yes, thank y'all so much. Hi, Cynthia. Welcome. Okay. So my thing is, do we know for sure if the first shot landed, or was that the one that missed? And then now I'm like, I got to reposition and get better aim for the next 2. Okay. So the first shot may not have been intended to kill. After the first shot, the shooter may have either realized the victim was still moving or conscious. Okay. Maybe they paused in shock, fear, or disbelief. Maybe they heard screaming or saw movement. Uh-oh. Now, we know that there were a lot of witnesses that started to pick up on what was taking place. Okay. Some of the witnesses started hearing arguing that was loud, okay, coming from across the street. And so after a first initial shot, was there like, oh my God, screaming, and it shocks the person like, oh, they may see me. Now, all of a sudden, I pause and look, but I got to hurry up and get, the next 2 off. But that could be one also plausible reason. Okay. Maybe the shooter reassessed to see what to do next. Okay. The pause can mark the moment the shooter decided to continue, leading to 2 rapid follow-up shots. This pattern is often interpreted as escalation, not a continuous defensive reaction. Okay. This is why that's key. That's showing that she was escalating after that. Okay. See, now you've gotten a shot off. You're saying self-defense. That was your defensive tactic at first. But because you paused, and remember, something that is a theme in my mind throughout this trial or throughout this whole thing is time. Okay. Now you had time in between that first shot and then consecutive shots after that. Okay. Tracy said Holly knew exactly what she was doing. Okay, clock it. Good morning, Miss Mabel. She knew where to hit. Okay, that's the reason for the pause, allegedly. Okay, come on now, clock that. Now, another reason, the victim movement after the first shot. Now, the victim, which would have been Romeca in this case, may have, okay, now this is where video footage is going to be so important, okay, during this trial, may have tried to run. Now, we do have one witness that stated that allegedly, while Carlos was holding Romeca in this like bear hug type of stance, okay, and while he was doing that, the moment he had let go and Romeca was taking off, bam, she had been shot, okay. So perhaps there was a pause, okay, because the victim tried to run, okay, or pause, maybe the victim had fallen but attempted to get up or turned around and moved, okay. That movement can trigger a pause while the shooter tracks the victim. See, now you're having time to continue to think about what you're doing. This is no longer self-defense, okay? Then two fast shots once the shooter re-aims. This is common when the first shot misses or is non-fatal. The shooter is adjusting their aim. So that's why I also saying, is it possible that that first shot was missed? Okay, because then they have to re-aim in order to get the other shot. Okay, so that was something else that came out in this. That's a possibility. And then Holly had to say, okay, wait a minute. Now, this also shows intent. If her intent was to unalive her and she wasn't like unalived on that first shot, then I have to keep going. Then that could also show intent in that moment. Okay. Good morning, Miss Lady. Welcome. Yes. So that's something to think about. You are now in a position where you see that this person is either not able to keep coming towards you, possibly running away from you, but after a pause, you are still shooting. Okay, that is showing more and more intent, okay, of what she was trying to do. Hey, Katie, welcome. All right. Another reason that this pause is significant, the weapon or shooter has control issues. So this pause could be due to the recoil causing loss of sight picture. Now, those of you who are gun shooters and y'all know about how that works, okay? The recoil, and I've heard some of you all mention that before, that the recoil from that particular weapon could have been strong, okay, causing that particular, like, ooh, okay, a pause. There could have been a poor grip or lack of firearm familiarity. Now, that part is stuck out to me, okay? How long had she had that particular weapon? Hey, me, us, good morning. How long has she had that particular weapon? That stood out to me. Had she shot it before? Now remember, that weapon had gotten jammed, okay, on that last little round. It had gotten jammed. And she put that weapon back into the vehicle with her child in the vehicle, with one live round still in the weapon. Shout out to Philly Girl Juice for the super sticker and for being a sponsor for today's live. Good morning, sis. Thank you so much. Okay. That is something to think about. How long has she had the weapon? Because if they did their job, okay, and really checked everything, I mean, it was licensed, and she was the owner of the weapon. But how long has she had it? Had she shot that weapon before? So was she familiar with it? Was her grip poor on the weapon? Hesitation due to fear of the weapon. And then after regaining control, the shooter fires the 2 shots rapidly. Okay. Another reason why this pause is significant, it could mean emotional, psychological freeze. High stress events can cause momentary freezing. Okay, you're in a situation where either you're in a fight, flight, or freeze type of response. Maybe you have disassociation or panic, or auditory exclusion, or time distortion. So a person may fire once, freeze briefly, then act again quickly. So that also to me goes into more of your mental. See, this is why I was saying too, not everyone can handle having a weapon due to, their mental capacity. Okay, are you mentally able to have a weapon? Are you prepared for what comes with that? Okay, because now look at the situation that she has found herself in, and Romeca is no longer here. Okay, so that is something to also think about. You have y'all heard of when people black out, or some people when they get angry, all they see is red, and they have these moments of rage, or like, you're disassociating yourself from what you're really doing. Tracy said there's a video of Holly and her family playing cards in a table full of guns. Yes, I've seen that. So they're very familiar with having weapons. I just wondered, was she familiar with that particular gun? How long has she had that one? And had she shot that particular gun before? Not, not saying she hadn't shot a gun before, but had she shot that particular gun before? But they are familiar with guns, and probably had gone to the range a lot, which we had, questioned even her training. How long was the workshop that she went to? Did she take the full training class? Did she take her tests during that time? Did she go out and practice on the range the way she was supposed to as well? Okay, that is all a part of it. Who was the instructor? Okay, and I'm hoping that they look more into that, because some things are questionable when it comes to her lack of attention to details afterwards, and what you were supposed to do, the proper procedures that you were supposed to take after. That brings into question, did she really go through this whole thing and understand? Okay, when you have self-defense, these are the things that you need to do. Hence, the first thing is you need to call 911, okay, which she did not do. Hi, Professor M teaches. C had enough time to let R go and run to prevent H from getting that pew pew. Yes, definitely. And thank you for tuning in. Definitely. Okay. If he was not going to stand in between these ladies and really de-escalate the situation, while she went to her vehicle to grab the weapon, he could have let her go so that she could go on and get in her car. Because look, if I'm telling you she about to go get her gun, okay, now Romeca she knew how to throw some hands. I feel that in the moment she sees this girl going to get a weapon, she wasn't trying to just stand there and fight with her, and she has a whole weapon. Now, this is the fight, flight, or freeze. In that moment, I'm pretty sure she would have chosen to flight, get up out of there. Okay, her car was right there. She could have fled to her car for safety. But if you're being held and this person is allegedly telling you she's about to go and get her weapon, and you look and you see that person walk into their vehicle to get a weapon, now you're definitely in fear for your life. Okay, that is something to think about. Good morning, Venetia. Hey, Karen, she said dangerous. Okay, right. She didn't read that whole document. Okay, you got to read the whole thing, especially when people's lives are at stake, even your own life. Okay, when you're handling a weapon, baby, you better be ready. Y'all seen movies, Rush Hour, okay? People pull out their own weapon thinking they're about to shoot someone, and somebody hurries up and takes the gun from you and shoot you because you're not properly trained. You didn't have a good grip on the weapon, so it was easy for them to take it and do what they needed to do. Okay, so that is something to think about. Okay, she was in fear for her life during that time. All right, there could have been an external interruption. Okay, the pause could have been explained by someone yelling, "Stop!" Did anyone out there yell, "Stop"? Anyone? Carlos? A witness? Did someone yell, "Stop"? Okay, was that a reason that there was a pause? And if someone did yell stop, and if you don't, you're also making a decision. Okay, this is why this pause is significant. Now you're making an even further decision. Even if you went into a blackout moment, let's just give her the benefit of the doubt, or you were in fear for your life. Okay, if you already shot her, now the only way that possibly is if the first shot didn't land. Okay. But let's just say she shot her and the first one hit. Okay. And someone is yelling, "Stop." First, you have help. Someone else is there to help you. Okay. There were two against one. Okay. And if Romeca was down, now y'all are now having a stronger force. Okay. It's two versus one. Right? Or if there's a witness that's yelling, "Stop," if you felt in danger or fear for your life, now you have another person out there, another witness that could have possibly helped too, being that Romeca could have been down. So why continue to further shooting? Okay, so someone possibly could have yelled, "Stop." Okay, hey Raymel, good morning. Did the boyfriend intervene verbally or physically? Okay, so was it possible? We don't know. Did he try to intervene and tell her to stop? Or did he try to go towards her and say, "Holly, no"? None of the witnesses said that though. Was the shooter being momentarily distracted? Now, once the distraction ends, that's when the shots resume quickly. Okay. Now, this is why this could be used as an intent evidence and how prosecutors view it. From a legal perspective, prosecutors often argue that the pause shows time to reflect. There go that time word again. Okay. After that pause, you had time to reflect. The two follow up shots demonstrate intent to kill, not an accident. Consecutive shots after a pause suggest deliberation, even if it is brief. Okay, Professor M said she was making sure she didn't hit. Okay, now you know what? That's a good point too. Okay, pause. Because after that first shot, he was still in close proximity, allegedly. Okay, according to the witness, he had was holding her, Romeca. Now, that's a good point you make. If the first shot landed, okay, and he was still close by, that she could have moved, and then we did hear that she was advancing, repositioned her body and got her aim back so that she would not shoot him. Okay, that's a very good point. If she was advancing to reposition and then make sure she had better aim. Good morning, Ray Ray from PA. Shout out to you. Now, the defense teams could often argue that there was panic and fear, that maybe she viewed Romeca as an ongoing perceived threat, or that Holly had loss of control, or she was in shock. They could possibly bring forth those arguments, okay? Both interpretations, though, are going to hinge on forensics. See, this is why the ballistics reports, the forensics, video evidence, all of that is going to be important, especially if there is no video of the actual shooting. Okay, so they're going to look at the position of the wound trajectory. Okay, where did the bullet enter? The position of it, the shot placement. Oh, that face shot was personal. Okay, they look at vital areas. Vital areas. When she hit her in the thigh, and we kind of touched on this Thursday. Okay, when she hit her in the thigh, she had hit a main artery. Okay, during the time when you hit a main artery, your heart is pumping fast. And so, not to, be graphic or anything, but, the blood kind of will come out at a faster rate. Okay, when she hit her in the face, that also was a very fatal shot. Okay, one of the witnesses said, as Carlos was letting go, she said she witnessed a gush of blood, which is why the first 3 to 5 minutes after a person is shot, and especially if a main artery has been hit, and one way you can tell, they said, if a main artery has been hit is from the significant amount of blood that begins to cover a person's clothes until it begins to become soaked. Okay, and you could tell that from some of the pictures. Romeca's clothes, her pants legs, unfortunately, you could tell that it became soaked, which is why during that time it is critical time to make sure that you contact 911 and that you find something to tie around that area to try to stop the blood from coming out, especially at a fast pace. Okay, finding a way to maybe push something in the little wound. They call it packing the wound. Okay, you have to use a t-shirt, a cloth, or something until help arrives. That's why that was so important in a critical time right after Romeca was shot. Hey, Katisa, good morning. Thank you for joining Simply. Neek, Freddie, welcome. Okay, that was very, very critical. They look at the distance. Okay, that's something else they're going to look at. Was she just on the sidewalk? Now, we did hear one of the witnesses say that she shot her from the sidewalk, but also were any of them at a closer range, any of the shots at a closer range. They also look at the victim position when each shot occurred. This is why no one should have been moving a body. Okay, no one should have been moving, because now that is contaminating the crime scene. You could render help in the position where that person's body fell. But to move a person's body over somewhere, then now look what happens. Okay. Then they look at the autopsy timing of the injuries. That is something else that they are going to look into when they try to, when they're arguing these points. Now, when there's audio evidence limitations, if the shot pattern comes from witness memory, any surveillance audio, or shot detection systems, which unfortunately they don't have those any longer there. Now, that would have been really, really good to have in this particular case, the shot detection systems. But They are relying on surveillance. You know, last night, someone brought up a good point. In the background of that video, let me see if it'll show on here. Hi, King David. He said Holly's lawyer is trying to argue the pause wasn't attending to delete. So that means the shots were rapid fire, which definitely means your intention is to make sure they are not alive. Exactly. That's worse. Okay. If it wasn't a pause, see, she knows if there's a pause, what that means. Yeah. That's why she's going to argue that, oh, no, they were back to back. But that to me looks even worse. Hey, Angel. Hey, Brittany. Let me pull up this video. Because there was a building, I had never paid attention to it till I saw someone comment about it. I'm not sure if it's showing in the one I have. Let's see. If I can.
She's the one who shot her. Restraining order, but she shot her.
Okay, y'all see right at the top right corner. Hey, Melinda. Yeah, I think so, Philly Girl Juice. Y'all see in the upper right corner through the trees that building. Now, I think it's a part of the school, but I'm wondering, have they checked, was there any footage, because that building is high up. Was there camera footage from that building across the street that could have captured anything? Okay, that could have been a part of school footage. And so I'm just curious to know if there was an angle, because I had never really paid attention to that side in that building. Because in my mind, I was like, I don't think it was a building like directly across the street right there. But to the corner right there, and that building is sitting higher up. I'm curious to know, was there a camera up there that could have possibly captured something across the street? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Hey, Purple Paradox. So that's a part of the school. So, interesting, because I know that I think they have footage from the school and could see, when they drove over, Carlos and Romeca, their cars, and her dropping Amir off. But I wanted to know how far in range the cameras would capture, and if it's possible that there is some type of camera footage coming this way across the street. Because that particular angle, if it's high enough for us to see the top of that building, could have gotten across the street when all of this happened. So that's something that I'm curious to know as well. Okay, I just wanted to show y'all that. Okay. Now, the perceived pause may not be precise. Stress distorts timing, okay? And echoes can alter how shots are perceived. So that's something that her defense attorney may even bring up as well. So a pause between shots does not automatically mean execution or premeditation, but it can be argued that way, depending on forensic and contextual evidence. Okay, that explanation depends heavily on whether the victim was still moving, where the bullet struck, the shooter's relationship to the victim. We already know that you didn't like Romeca, okay? And we could definitely tell by how desperate it seemed of her trying to get this restraining order, okay? We could tell the desperation that she was going through to get this restraining order, to have this weapon already loaded. I would never videos. Okay. So that relationship, there was not one. Now, hence, if it's somebody that you didn't know and you really felt like your life was threatened, okay, that might be a different thing. Oh, but the fact that you knew her, y'all may not have met in person, and that y'all's common baby's father was right there and you still did this, doesn't look good. Okay. It doesn't look good. Witness and audio evidence consistency. So they're going to look at the video footage that they do have and then also think about the witness testimonies. Do things line up? Which is one reason why the judge in this last hearing was not going for the video evidence that they were trying to turn in. Okay, because the timestamps were not even right. Okay, that's another reason they're trying to discredit that witness. Okay, because you want evidence that is going to prove the case. And if what the witness is saying coincides with what evidence they have, that's what they're going to go with. Okay, especially if they have a lack of actual footage of the shooting itself. Let's see here. Venetia said, I was wondering that too, OB, and also the elderly home, if they have cameras. Yes, and someone was trying to tell me that wasn't an elderly home, but I thought that was an elderly home. And then in the back of that is a big, tall apartment building. But yep, some video footage, if they had some there, right, she would never. Purple Paradox said, OB, I went to Alabama and had the best experience in orientation. I just got back home this morning, but I sure know that this was a job I was led to. I know that's right. And congratulations to you. We are so happy for you, Purple Paradox. Congratulations. She was sharing with us the other day that she had just gotten a new job after losing her job around Christmas. So that's a blessing. God is so faithful. Yeah, y'all. So, that does not necessarily mean, okay, that they cannot figure out. That pause is significant in so many ways. And with the right forensics evidence, the right ballistics evidence, video evidence that they do have, okay, not to say they don't have any around those moments, is going to play key into why that is so important in this case. And also why the judge, okay, mentioned that. It's a reason he mentioned that. Okay. Hi, Stacy. And I was like, this what made me think about that. I'm like, what was so significant about the pause? Now, the fist bump, okay, we also know he brought up too. Okay, good morning, Lisa. He brought that up as well because to him, that seems like a celebration of some sort. Like you weren't really in fear if y'all are out there fist bumping each other. Okay. I don't know if they have the evidence of that fist bump. I know that the video was out in the very beginning, but a lot of people now, it's like hard to find that. It's like it just got deleted somewhere. I don't know, like everywhere, from everywhere. And so those were critical things in the prosecution. Hopefully has that. I'm really hoping that they have that themselves because we haven't seen the evidence and things that they have at this time. Even so far as having a witness number 5. Okay. That person, hopefully, they keep all of that under wraps, keep these witnesses protected because their statements are going to really, really be crucial and important. Okay. Does it line up with what happened? And I think also the lack of aftercare after Romeca was shot may be another factor too of how they handled even that situation after she was shot. And then when the witnesses started coming up, and we talked about this Thursday too, were any of the witnesses even trying to help Romeca? However, though, if y'all think about it, when they started walking up, Holly still had that weapon in her hand. So if you are a witness and you just saw someone shoot someone, okay, This person's on the ground, the end of their life, okay, trying to hang in there. You may want to help. However, the shooter is still standing there with the weapon. Most people are going to stand back. Okay. That she was holding it still at some point because the girl in the video said it. Then you have the boyfriend there that we don't know if during that time, because we've seen later videos, if he was telling them to stand back. Because possibly some of them could have ran over there and tried to help Romeca too. And welcome everyone just coming in. Thank y'all for joining. Latte said, yeah, like I wish I would have screen recorded it, but it's still around somewhere in cyberspace. Right. Okay. Hey, Shelly. Good morning, sis. That's something to think about as well. Shout out to Grandma of 5 for the super chat and for being a sponsor for today's live. She said, thank you for all of your hard work and dedication to Romeca and her family. Thank you so much. It is my honor. It's a pleasure. This is something that I feel is an assignment, to help stand with this family for justice for Romeca. And thank you all as well for your support too. She said, oh yeah, we got the bald and dreads dude to admit that he doesn't really drive a real tractor trailer after I showed everyone what the inside of a real truck looks like. Where did you do that? Oh my gosh. Good morning, Terrence. Okay. So that is something, y'all to think about. Could they have possibly helped her? But if the girl still had the weapon, they saying this girl crazy. They probably didn't want to go there. Now, eventually, she did go and put the weapon into her car. Okay. Now, with that, and someone had brought this up during a live one time. Okay. Good morning, Quadre. Someone had brought this up during a live one time that she wouldn't have had a chance because the witnesses had walked up. If there are multiple people's fingerprints on that weapon, she would not have had a chance to wipe it down because the witnesses had walked up. And then after that, the police, because other people had started calling the police started coming up as well. So that's something to think about too. Did they find evidence of multiple prints on that weapon? Okay. Good morning. She said, I want to thank whoever gifted me with the membership. I love it over here. Thank you so much and congratulations. It may have been the other day. I'm going to give some memberships on this live as well. It may have been the other day. I know I gifted some memberships, but then also think on Thursday, Brahmalena, she gifted 5 memberships. So I forgot who the 5 people were, but someone did give 5 memberships on the other day. And we met our goal the other day. So I said I was going to give 5 more memberships on today. Let's see. Thank you so much, Purple Paradox. You are a blessing regardless. You're so supportive. I saw on another platform that the witnesses tried to help, but Carlos wouldn't let anyone get to her. Okay, Melinda. Okay, got you. Quadre said, I told everyone he drive a forklift, not a truck driver. Well, some people look at that as driving trucks. That is kind of a truck. No, please don't put any other CC's names in here, y'all. Hi, Dish Detroit. Welcome. Thank you for tapping in. So that's something I'm curious to know. And if that part is on the video too, that's something to think about because they said that the pod cameras pan. Okay, the pod cameras pan. So that means that they're going back and forth in that area. But hopefully they have video footage of some other stuff, from other places, okay, from other places. Hopefully they will get that evidence because that building, the school, that part of the school, I hadn't thought about that part as it being across the street. If they had an angle from that building to across the street. Yes, they have footage of them in the parking lot, Romeca, dropping her son off. But that would be if they do, I don't know, have, because it sits up higher and it could have seen what happened at that angle across the street, because the pod cameras on the corners go back and forth. Now, someone also said that there is a camera down by the green line. Does anyone in Chicago, do y'all know about that? The green line camera? Because I'm not familiar with that. Hi, Shawty Red. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Gossip and Giggles. Shout out to you. Thank you for tapping in today. Philly Girl Juice. I try to be. Okay. Hey, Queen Shailene. Thank you for joining. Okay. That's something else. Like all of the cameras, then they were saying with the nursing facility, if that's a nursing facility, the sharks went. I don't know if I would trust it. Okay, because baby, the time stamps are off and all of that. So I'm trusting that they've checked out all of these different areas for camera footage of it. I know people that were passing by during that time have probably witnessed some things. Because, y'all, you can imagine that is scary in itself. You are going down the street, okay, and all of a sudden, while you're passing, you know how we like to be nosy. You're passing people out there arguing, and you just driving by being nosy, and gunshots start firing. So somebody that was passing by in traffic saw some gunshots, okay, being fired, whether they were at the light or if they were directly just passing by. One of those shots could have hit one of those people passing by. Okay. Shout out to Melinda for the super sticker and for being a sponsor for today's live. Let's see. Philly Girl Juice said they have all the footage of the state is dancing around Ari. Okay, good. I heard they have ring footage. Oh, wow. DeMarcus mom, shout out to you. Okay. Interesting. I bet they have a lot of footage, and that is another reason that Holly is still in jail. Right. That's what I'm wondering. And that's what I'm curious to know when that part comes out too, on all of the footage that they do have. Shelly said, and do. Right. Wow. And witnesses. I'm curious to know who this witness by that has come forward. Okay. Hi, Dunday. Thank you for joining. So that will also be another factor. Wow. This is all getting interesting. Her bubble will burst when she gets all of the discovery. Yeah, because then they're going to have to try to find out a way around everything. Being a defense attorney, your job is to try to get your client off. Okay. So how can we argue this? What kind of loopholes and inconsistencies and things like that, they look into. And something else I thought about too yesterday. Y'all know when the witness said that when Romeca's car turned, made the U-turn, right? And so we've been hearing that Carlos had moved his car up, right? That witness 3 said that her tires made a skirt noise. Now, I'm wondering, because I started thinking about that video from Crystal Williams, and when her car was cut off by her former boyfriend, Justin. And I'm wondering, because if Carlos was dropping Holly and the baby off, okay, putting them into their car, his car, because we know how baby car seats and how heavy babies are, you would have parked closer to Holly's car, at least in line with it, so she could have gotten out and just taken the baby right over to her car, right? So I'm wondering, because we've heard, the movement is when Romeca made the U-turn, was it possible that he kind of jumped in front of her car? She moves over. She's now right there, but he moves up some at that point where his truck is out of the way. You see what I'm saying? because we've heard it various ways that he moved his truck. So I was like, something caused her to say, fast. Like, did someone block her right quick? And then once she had stopped, she saw who it was. He had moved up some. He was no longer back there by Holly's car. His truck had been moved up some. Okay. So I was just thinking about that. Is that a reason that caused her to stop during that time? Hey, Nina. Let's see. Shelly said when it's all over, they both should be in jail, period. Okay. I bet there won't be any loopholes that she can come up with. Hey, Trina, welcome. Yes, justice for Romeca. I think Carlos stepped in front of Romeca's car. Yes, something right there that keeps bothering me. And I'm waiting to see if they have like some footage of that part. What made her stop so fast during that time? Something caused that. And so if that was the time of the truck being moved, I could see that now. Okay, because it just would have made sense that if I'm dropping off my baby's mother and my child, and her car is back here, then my car would have been more so where Romeca's car was, so that we could easily just get the baby out and go put the baby in the car. I'm not about to park way up here and then we're about to carry. Now I don't know if the baby car seat would have had to be in his car too, because I would hope you're not just holding the baby in the front seat with no car seat and then putting the baby in the car seat. Unless y'all got two cars, I don't know, but it would have just made sense to stop there by her car, get out, and then put the baby into the car. But his car was moved way up, still double parked, and then Romeca's car was positioned not directly by Holly's car, but to the left and back of it. I'm sure by the next court date, Ari will have the complete discovery. By February 3rd, y'all, that's the next one. Let's see. Shailene said Carlos stopped Romeca. He had already been to the school before Romeca dropped Amir off. Yes. No, I haven't. Purple Paradox. I haven't heard of that case yet. No. So that was pretty much all I wanted to share with y'all, the significance of that pause in between shots and why that is going to be important, especially in proving intent. Okay, with that, and on some of those charges, though, intent doesn't have to be proven. Okay, which is smart of the state. One of the charges I know was a cause and effect. Okay, so by you doing this, is this why she was shot? Let me look at that again. Hold on. Okay, so if you think about it, even with the count type 1, intent to kill or do great bodily harm with firearm, the state, they have to just prove that she shot a firearm. At the time of the shooting, the defendant intended to kill or cause great bodily harm, okay, which also goes in line with that pause. Okay, if you shot her, but you pause and then you do 2 more shots, to me, that steps into you're trying to cause great bodily harm, if not unalive. Okay, because you've already shot her once. Then the shooting caused the victim's death, check mark on all of those. Okay, count type 2, knowing discharge of a firearm creating a strong probability of death. The state in this particular count must prove the defendant knowingly fired a gun. She knows. The defendant knew the act created a strong probability of death or great bodily harm. Okay. And the shooting caused death. Okay. Check marks on all of those. Count 3, knowing act proximately causing death. The state must prove that the defendant committed a knowing act, which is shooting a firearm, that this act was inherently dangerous. You should know if you are shooting a weapon especially multiple times towards a person, that is dangerous. Okay. And then the act proximately caused the death. Yes, and proximately caused means that the defendant's actions were a direct and substantial factor that caused Romeca's death. Check marks. Count type 4, intent to kill or injure by discharging a firearm. The state must prove that a firearm was discharged by the defendant intended to kill or seriously injure, and the discharge caused the death. Okay. Now, on this one, number 2, they're going to definitely have to prove intent. Okay. In number 2 for that one. Count type 5, knowing discharge of a firearm proximately causing death. So the state must prove that the defendant knowingly fired a gun, the discharge was dangerous, and the discharge was the direct cause of death. All check marks. Okay. So we're not even in the courtroom. We're not even the state, and we already can prove it. Okay, on multiple counts. Okay, so that should be easy enough for the jury. No, Purple Paradox, you are good. Let me see what y'all saying. Philly Girl Juice said that pause is going to mess Holly up either way. Yes, definitely. Okay, I agree. I hope people pick it up. She needs justice as well. That is similar to Romeca, but she was married and her husband had a mistress. Oh, Lord. Okay, that's a messy case. Lord have mercy. It's a lot. Y'all, it's so many of these stories and things going on. Oh my gosh, it's like you can't even keep up. People are losing their lives at a fast rate, but I will definitely look into that Purple Paradox. Let's see. Lisa said, I don't understand why they were switching the baby from car to car if she came into town to be with Carlos. Well, I guess they had been together that morning. And so when they were leaving, he was allegedly taking her to her car with the baby for her to leave. So she was supposed to have been leaving. Okay. But it seems like she hung around with a loaded weapon and a restraining order. Okay. Knowing you knew that Romeca was dropping off her son and she was running late. She had made a post. So if you have a restraining order, you should not want to be in the same area that possibly you're going to see a person that you're in fear for your life of. If I know, oh Lord, her son goes to this school, let me get him out of here. I ain't finna be hanging around just in case she come through here. Okay, I would have been like, baby, let me go. But she did. C was creating distance, but not too much, so H could target R. This was an ambush. And you know what? I thought that as well. This whole case is so sad. It has really been an eye-opener for me. I pray daily that the truth will prevail. I agree. I have a CCL and go to the range on a regular. Excuse me. You do not pause with a semi-automatic unless you are trying to readjust to hit your target. Say it again, Purple Paradox. Okay? Say it again. That part. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons she paused. There are other reasons, but I think that was one of the reasons to readjust, and especially if she was advancing. Yes. The double tap after the initial shot. Let's see. The double tapped her after the initial shot shows intentionality. Okay. Yes, I agree. I don't understand how he helped Holly put the baby in the car if Holly was out there for 3 days and Carlos was out that night and came home the morning of September the 8th. I think she was at his place that morning, allegedly. I don't know, though. And taking them across the street instead of her parking near his house. She was parked over there. So they allegedly got into his vehicle and he drove her across the street with the baby. And she was putting the baby and getting the baby in the car. That's where the baby was. Still don't know. That baby is a good baby because he wasn't crying or nothing. Good morning, Ladybug. Baby girl is in the building. Unfortunately, Tennessee is a stand your ground state, and the victim tried to break into the woman's house. Ooh. Oh, in the other case, wow. Holly paused to reposition herself to get a better aim. Mm. Hi, Lisa. T. Smith said they have been lying about where they parked Holly's car. And in another CC video where they played a video of Romeca and Carlos arguing in the back where Carlos parks his vehicle, they point out Holly's car was parked back there, trying to imply Romeca would be familiar with it. However, what that video actually does is prove Holly normally parks in the back where Carlos parks. Wow. You know what? I know which video you're talking about. And I was wondering too, the same thing. I said, now I had never seen that video, and her car was parked back there. So that was the back of the building. Is that what you're saying, T. Smith? Wow. So it does show that there was space, or she's familiar with parking back there. That's a good point. And did she know that that was his car or her car, Holly's car? We don't know that. If she knew that that was her car. Wow. So that was that video. Also, wasn't that the same video where Romeca had the wood and she was saying that you're lying? You're saying I'm blocking you in and I'm not. Is that the same video? Because I thought that maybe they showed more of that video. Yeah, they was up too early. If she was so afraid, the shots would have been pow, 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 not a pause, because that shows deliberation, not fear. Thank you. Clock it. Okay. Shout out to Sky the McCorkle. I hope I'm saying it right. Shout out to you and thank you so much for the super sticker and for being a sponsor for today's live. Oh, okay. So that is the same video. Okay. Now, see, that makes it even worse. Okay. For the simple fact, oh my gosh. Wow. I never seen, because we had seen pieces of that. I never caught that at first. So basically, he was saying in that video, okay, that allegedly he was saying that Romeca was blocking in his car. He must have been saying that she was blocking him in. But he never panned over with the camera to show the positions of the cars. Now, when you see a longer part of that video, you do see Holly's car parked back there. Now, you mean to tell me you used the same blocking in excuse that day and the day that she got unalived, and both times was a lie? That's what I'm just not understanding. Oh my goodness. So that was the same video. Wow. I always watch on YouTube, on TV. Never have I watched you on my phone, but now I see I can text. Oh, okay, got you. Okay. Thank you so much. Wow, girl. Now you're going to have me going looking for that video again because I want to look a little deeper into it because I never thought about that too because I knew which one you were talking about. Now I'm going to have to go look at it again. Hey, Mrs. E, welcome. Okay, so it's the same video. Okay. I doubt she knew that was Holly's car, seeing she had never seen her in person. That's what I'm saying, Melinda Clockett. Okay. I don't think she knew because I was shocked. When I saw that video, I said, well, how did she ever see the car before? You know, because we looking at it now, we know what Holly's car looks like. And then how was that car there before? You know, if she was afraid, Holly should have left. Right, she wasn't. If you watch the Ring video footage, you will see that the Kiana was piled before entering the house. She actually fell into the house. Oh, girl, I'm gonna have to look into that. Wow, that's crazy work. Yo, okay, thank you, T. Smith, for that. I'm gonna definitely check that back out. And use the same thing about her blocking her in. are blocking them in. Same thing. Wow. So we're going to see how that goes. That pause was significant for a number of reasons, and it is going to be key for the judge to really bring that up and focus on that along with the fist bump. We already know that's going to be key. Okay. So what I've talked about today is some reasons why that is significant. If you did not see the first part of the video, make sure you go back and watch that portion, because those reasons could possibly be argued in court by the state. Okay. And the defense is going to have to come, hey, and try to counter that. But their side was saying Holly always parked near the school, but that's clearly a lie. Bam, clock it. Okay, clock it. If she had parked back there that time, how come she didn't park back there on September the 8th? Ooh, see, when proven stuff goes wrong, I didn't even think about it because I didn't really know what the point. I guess the point in showing that video was to make Romeca look a certain type of way. But every time, because even when when Q had uploaded the video and showed more of it, we had only the first couple of months been seeing the part where she was holding the block of wood and saying leave me alone, or whatever she was saying. But when more of it was shown, we heard more of her saying, I'm not blocking you in, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, wait, I ain't never heard that part. I said, he's accused her of blocking him in before. And so that's how we knew more about that. Then here goes a longer part of the video. I'm like, well, how long is the video? Then in the background, you see Holly's car. I didn't realize that was in back of where Carlos stayed. So her car has been parked in the back of his place before. Okay. So that's not the only spot that she could have parked. Ace tried to get R served at the school. The judge said no. Irony is she unalived R at the school. Thank you. Okay. Clock that. And that's the thing too. That's what I want to know. Some of these judges that were responsible for granting that restraining order, and the times that even that time Romeca did show up, what does that judge think now, being how all of this played out? I want to know what that judge thinks about all of this now. It's so ironic. That was a whole point right there of her knowing her son's school's address in the beginning. And then look at how she took Romeca's life right there across the street. That is so sad. So sad. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. Shout out to Jackie, Philly Girl Juice, Grandma of 5, Melinda, Sky, the McCorkle. Thank you so much for being sponsors for today's live. I appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone's support. Hi, Miss Francine. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, that judge probably has some regrets, baby. Okay. Probably in hindsight, looking back, are these the two women? Is that the girl that showed up every Zoom before me popping up? And look at what she did. Was she trying to get this restraining order to do what she did? They probably have questions. Yeah, I've been wondering that. I've been definitely wondering that. They have questions now in hindsight that you could have possibly intervened more. Okay. And had possibly, think about this, y'all. The judge who granted that restraining order, if he had given Romeca some time, I'm telling you, if I was in that courtroom and I was a state prosecutor, child, time would be my whole thing. Romeca explained to you, it wasn't that, oh, I'm going on a vacation. Oh, I'm going, we decided, I'm having my birthday party. I can't come back, for my court date. She explained to you, if you could give her some time. She was in nursing school. She could not miss school. Okay. She was in nursing school. She was working. And she said, could you just give her time? Because she would have the time after she finished that to come back. She already knew she missed, she was going to be out. She was focused on completing what she had started. But because he didn't give her the time, that allowed Holly the chance to then be granted this restraining order, which then gave her the confidence that I can go through with what I want to do now. Because without the restraining order, then I can't come up with self-defense in her mind. Okay? But he couldn't even give her a couple of extra weeks to come to another court date. How does he feel now in hindsight that this girl was only asking for a couple of more weeks so she could finish her school? And then I could have heard her side. She could have had her lawyer there. Then Holly would have had to have proven with some evidence why she needed the restraining order. She never showed proof because she never had the next date. And then Romeca gone within a month, a little over a month of her being granted that restraining order. Thank you, Katisa. Wow. She should have gotten in trouble for simply having Romeca's mail. Yes, that should have been the first offense. How about that? How about in a whole transcript, you overlook the federal offense? They tell you that there are penalties, even on certain mail, that you cannot tamper and have people's mail like that. Ari will possibly be disbarred. Her tactics are on full display, and God is not playing about Romeca. This is horrible. Right. It is a lie. If she was coming to his house for the weekend, wouldn't she park near his house because she has the baby? I would have thought so too, Gina. The judge didn't want to hear Romeca or give an extension, which was filed. Exactly. Even when she said she has nothing to lose, he's like, I don't want to hear any speeches. How is that a speech? Okay, I'm trying to tell my side of why I feel that she's coming for me. That's not a speech. That's not a speech. She was explaining. She has nothing to lose. And now look, in hindsight. Hey, mama. Okay? In hindsight, now look. Her life is gone. If he had given her a couple of more weeks to show up at that hearing, she was trying to get her lawyer. She's trying to finish school. She's working. She's a single mom, pretty much, because, you co-parenting as much as possible. But hey, August 20th, it looked like he wasn't doing such a good job. Okay. Then we could have seen real evidence also. No evidence shown. No evidence. Yes, she was never taken seriously, and the courts let her completely down. The fact that she had her mail was unbelievable. Exactly. Thank you so much, Why me? I had to think what that spells. Yeah, because why did she have her mail? It's creepy. It's creepy. The whole thing is creepy. And then to be that desperate to get the restraining order, like, oh, y'all have the address? Okay, I gave it to the person. Are y'all sure y'all have it? Okay, if y'all don't have it, I got her son's school address. Okay, so when do I need to bring evidence? When do I need asking, being there, showing up, probably before the judge? He probably sick and tired. He just went ahead because he was like, I don't want to. She wore the judge down too, probably. That man said, we've been doing this every month. every month, almost. I'm sick of seeing your face. Let me go ahead and just grant it. Okay. That's sad. And then look what happened. That's why I feel like the family told her to get a CCL and Romeca, if Romeca comes near Holly, to shoot, because she had all of that already. Yes, justice for Meeks. Yes. Wow. She had a little more time. That just hit me. Like, I mean, just she was just asking for a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks. She wasn't saying it for no foolishness. I could see if it was for some foolishness, like I'm going on vacation, got a girls' night, or I don't know if I'm gonna feel like it that day. No, she's saying I cannot miss. And we even had some people who were in nursing school in the chat that day when we talked about that, and they said that they will kick you out if you miss a certain number of days. And we have to also consider some of the foolishness she was going through with in her life during that time. Children get sick. Okay, you have things that you have to do. It's hard. That is hard. You have work on top of that too. I think she could have found it when she went to his house. Maybe he had some over there with her name on it. Hey, Thick Chocolate, that judge has to go. He disregarded her, and the family needs that addressed and him off that bench. Yeah, they need to look into that. Like that wasn't right, in my opinion. It's no telling how many times Stalker Holly followed Meeks from Little Amir's school. She's absolutely disgusting. I've never seen such a high level of jealousy in my whole entire life. Clock that. Yes. Okay. Yes, that's who we need. Thank you. I hope that we need them when this trial. We need some court TV there for this trial. Okay, I'm gonna look up y'all how to get in contact with court TV. Law and Crime, they do a phenomenal job. Like, we really need some people there in the courtroom so that we can see this go down, this trial, when it comes up next year. If you miss 3 days of nursing school, you will be failed out. There you go. Philly Girl Juice just told us. 3 days. So we don't know how many she had already missed. And for her to tell him, look, I'm almost done. I just need some time. I can't do it that day. And he still granted I was like, wait a second. She just told you. And so she ended up missing it. And then she was probably like, it was alleged that Carlos was telling her that, Holly wasn't going to go through with the restraining order and trying to get her to not show up. I don't know how, if any of that part is true or not. But this is just, it's so sad. It really is. But y'all, that is all that I have today. Thank you all so much for tapping in this morning. I hope everyone has a fantastic Saturday on today. Get you some rest, enjoy your family, get out and have a little fun. I heard that some areas may be getting snow today. Look, we don't prepare for snow. Okay, now I love to see it in other places. We're not prepared for snow. Okay, the judge didn't care. He has his career right. But enjoy your day. Thank y'all so much. Make sure you hit that like button. It is for free. Also, if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell, because you never know when I'm going to go live. Maybe that messy middle person gave Holly Romeca's mail, possibly. Okay. What is this one? Thick Chocolate. I haven't seen that one, but yes. Hashtag them. Come on in, because baby, we need y'all to cover this. Yes. Okay. Oh, that's the Law and Crime hashtag. Thank you so much. Shelly said that they're getting it now. Okay. Y'all got snow too in Philly. Okay. Wow. I bet he did tell her Holly was not going to be there because he kept giving the wrong address. Possibly. Purple Paradise, that part. Nancy Grace too. Carlos really wouldn't be able to sleep at night if she hop on. Oh, if Nancy Grace, because y'all already know how she coming. Okay. He was playing both of them by denying Holly to Romeca. Wow. Well, y'all go ahead and drop our pink hearts as justice for Romeca. I thank you all so much for tapping in. Hopefully y'all will have a fantastic weekend. Until next time, be blessed. Bye-bye.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like, share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.